Hello, sweetie.
We were about to be taken on a journey between space and time by Ernesto to explain why the stuff on his face, as well as what the Impossible Astronaut Day is all about. We've got a lot going on. There's going to be a lot to be impressed on, as well as a little bit of Doctor Who news. So let us hop into it. Let's get straight into
Doctor Who?
Doctor Who? Doctor Who?
Fellas, you're never going to stop asking.
All right. So Ernesto, let me have it. How did this come about? What is the Impossible Astronaut Day?
Time Lords, Time Ladies, welcome back to the console room. It is April 23rd, and if you're a Whovian, you know that today is Impossible Astronaut Day. Now, we all know the story from Season 6, Episodes 1 and 2, The Impossible Astronaut and Day of the Moon. The tallies are what Amy, Rory, and the incredible Professor Rivers Song had to do whenever they actually saw one of the silents. They would, if they encountered one of them, they would mark themselves so that they would remember that they saw one. Because if you remember, as you know, when you see the silence after you stop looking at them, you forget all about them. And that is how they were able to not only invade, but occupy the Earth. So, folks, we're talking about Season 6, Episodes 1 and 2. With the wonderful Matt Smith.
Okay. Yes.
His second season in the TARDIS.
Yeah. He was one of the doctors that, once he was on screen, I enjoyed him right away. So it's always good to go and visit a Matt Smith. But Capaldi's that way. Tennant took me a bit to warm up to, but I enjoyed him. I thought Jodie started out pretty fun, but that we know how that goes. And
yes, unfortunately.
Yeah,
Ncuti, there was something about Ncuti. I don't know if it was just his introduction, if it was how the character of the 15th Doctor was introduced, or if it was the introduction of the actor. But there's something about Ncuti Gatwa, and if you saw him in Barbie, then
that's right, he was one of the Kens.
That's right. That's right. Rocking a great blonde dye job, which I can relate.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's something about the actor, and upon seeing the whole bi-generation, which had never been done, there was something that caught your attention with this 15th Doctor.
So,
and the little that we have seen of him has actually, you and I have discussed this, it's actually made us eager we cannot wait for this new season to begin. And so, okay, what are we going to do with the podcast until then? Well, here we are.
Yeah, just do random stuff.
Oh, yeah. Well, we have to make sure that the people who have been following us, and by the way, thank you to all of you who have been.
You 10 people are amazing.
Hey, we got one more. Great.
Yeah.
We do have some news on our social media, which we'll get to later. But for right now, let's dive into why are we even celebrating Impossible Astronaut Day?
Right. So from how you explained it, it sounds like Doctor Who needed its day because we had First Contact Day and was it May the 4th, right?
The two major fandoms have their days. We all know May the 4th be with you. We all know, that little movie that Disney bought.
Yeah.
We they celebrate their day on May the 4th. For us Star Trek fans, we know from Star Trek First Contact that first contact with an alien species happens on April 5th, 2063. So we got another couple of years. So I quit smoking. I want to be
There you
around
go.
for this.
Yeah.
So these two fandoms celebrate their fandoms on that day. And I don't know if it started online. I don't know if it was just some fan who did it. But somehow or another, um, a couple years ago, people started putting tally marks on themselves on April 23rd, which was actually the air date for Series 6, Episode 1, The Impossible Astronaut. It was on April 23rd, 2000, I believe it was, 2011 was when that episode premiered. So
Uh,
we are celebrating Doctor Who on the anniversary of The Impossible Astronaut. Hence, Impossible Astronaut Day. Here's the thing. The whole episode where they did the tally marks wasn't The Impossible Astronaut.
Nope.
It was in episode 2, which was called Day of the Moon. And it revolves a lot around the companions. So let's talk about those companions.
All right.
See, I met this person and I got whooshed away across all space and time. I mean, I had the most amazing adventures, really. I mean, you wait till you hear, because I'm going to tell you them all.
Yeah, so in this
I love that.
iteration, yeah, I love that, Graham. We've got an ultimate trio of companions. We got Amy and Rory.
The Pond Trio. The Pond family.
Yes, that's right. Yeah, the Pond family is the one in the TARDIS this iteration. And of course, this is from the scene where they witness what they believe is the death of the Doctor. So that was pretty amazing because he was shot by the Impossible Astronaut. So that was wild.
Yeah, when you rewatch it, you know the twist.
Yeah.
When you rewatch it, it still packs a punch. Just the earmark of great writing. Karen Gillian, Arthur Darvill, and the flawless Alex Kingston as Amelia, Rory, and River Song, their daughter. But spoilers. These three, the Doctor has been captured by the Secret Service of all people. Oh, that's right. One of the other companions in these two episodes, you might have heard of him, President Richard Nixon. Played by what was his name? Stuart Milligan did such a phenomenal job with just a nose prosthetic and a wig. Did a phenomenal job as Tricky Dick himself. But the real star of the guest cast is a man who would go down in history and is progressing in his career as one of the premier guest stars in all of sci-fi, the incomparable, the incredible Mark Sheppard. Mark Sheppard has been in everything from Doctor Who to Supernatural to Firefly and almost to Battlestar Galactica.
He hasn't done Star Trek yet. Doom he was in Battlestar. I remember that.
He has not done. He has not done Star Trek yet.
Yeah, once he recovers, hopefully.
Yes, and our best wishes to the wonderful Mark Sheppard. I'm sure someone will tell him that we're talking about him, and he'll look us up. So, Mark,
Yeah. Who the fuck's talking about me?
best to you. Who's talking about me now?
Oh, that's pretty good.
Crowley. Thank you. I've actually been working on my Arthur Darvill.
There you go.
But that's a we'll get into Resident Alien on another
Oh, I
podcast.
love that show. That is such a good show.
Is okay. Spoilers. The season finale aired on Hulu. If you haven't seen it, it's amazing.
It's so good. I was a little annoyed that it was
good.
only 8 episodes, though.
True. But again, we have to look at how streaming is now.
Yeah, but
you know, even
I think that's just the studio excuse.
Discovery is what I think they're only doing 10 episodes
but they
this
used
season.
to do 15.
Yes, but what you're getting is you're getting more bang for your buck in every episode because you know they have X amount for the budget and have to, you know, which is why you used to have back in the day, when we were watching Star Trek on cable TV, or actually no, it was on network really, but you would have what they would call bottle episodes. These are episodes that took place on the ship or on the immediate set that was already built, that they didn't have to make new costumes for. They didn't have to, they'd probably have to hire a couple of guest cast, but it's not like they would have to design and build all new sets for a couple of episodes a season. That saved them money, so they could put that money from the budget into the special effects that you would use in a two-parter like the Borg episode from Next Generation that
Best
I
of
cannot
both
believe
worlds.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
See, this is what happens when you go on vacation. You just forget everything.
Yeah. Do tell them about your vacation, man. Where were you when I was suffering in this cold environment? Were you someplace warm? Are you a bit tan, sir? Where were you? Where in the world was Carmen Ernesto?
Well, I was on a incredible cruise in the Caribbean. We left out of Miami. My wonderful wife and I left out of Miami on our first Virgin voyage.
Ooh.
The incomparable Richard Branson has outdone himself. Folks, I am not paid by Virgin. I would have no problem being so. But so Sir Richard, if you're listening, we are open for sponsorship.
Yeah, we could totally. I'm
Virgin,
100%
really, for anyone who's ever been on a cruise, and I will include the Star Trek cruise in this general ball. The Star Trek cruise is an amazing experience for any Star Trek fan. Most theme cruises are a phenomenal experience if you are a fan of that theme. That being said, this Virgin voyage was just amazing. The food, the atmosphere, the room that we had, was just beyond belief. The service that we got. Folks, if you're even considering going on a cruise, look into Virgin before anyone else, because afterwards you will be spoiled. But let's get back to Doctor Who. So, Mark Shepard, we wish you speedy recovery, and we can't wait to see you back on our screens. The whole point for the tallies was for this new enemy, an enemy that was hinted at in Matt Smith's first episode.
Really?
Yes. If you
remember. Silence Will Fall. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Prisoner, the the big bad for season 5, episode 1, said one of the last words that they said. Prisoner 8675309, whatever his name was. One of the last things he said to Matt Smith before he was whisked away was, "Silence will fall." A hint on Matt Smith's first episode. They are already planning season 2.
Yeah.
The brilliance, the brilliance of Stephen Moffat on that alone. I mean, the man will give you amazing characters and then kill them, and you will love him for it. Just such an incredible writer, amazing showrunner, and his tenure with the Doctor just proves that. He sets up this enemy throughout season 5. The Doctor's trying to figure out the crack in the universe, but every adventure he has and solves the problem of the week, he's reminded that silence will fall. And the rest of us are sitting here like, what the hell does that mean?
Yeah. What the hell does that mean?
And it pays off. Season 6, episode 1, we are introduced to this season's big bad, or as we like to call them here on the console room, enemies.
Yes.
I shall now kill you, Doctor.
Yes, the big bad of this one, the Silence. Very cool design, probably one of my favorites.
Absolutely.
Sick powers with lightning, and they dissolve you and everything like that, and their mouth kind of opens up. Really, really cool bad guy. And then that face off, so to speak, with him and the Doctor, just epic.
Yeah. Definitely a terrifying visual. A little reminiscent. I probably should have mentioned this before we started the show, because we could have had a thumbnail come up. Kind of reminiscent of the Gentleman from Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Kind of reminiscent of Slender Man from the video game.
That too, yeah. Probably more Slender Man than the Gentleman, because Slender Man was kind of a thing right around 2011. So there was probably more Slender Man than the Gentleman. But as far as I'm concerned, it's more about the Gentleman, thanks to my dear friend Doug Jones.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Doug played the Gentleman in Buffy. But so their offensive capability of the Silence is formidable, but their defensive capability is the whole reason that we tally ourselves today, April 23rd. Once you see the Silence, you can stare directly at them. And the minute you look away, you forget. Ingenious.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I mean, they put a lot of time into this villain. I think out of all the new villains, like the Weeping Angels were cool, but this one was like another level. I always thought it was very cool.
Weeping Angels, we could do an entire podcast on the Angels, but after Angels Take Manhattan, I don't think that they really knew what to do with the Angels, because when you come into the 13th Doctor, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, and please, folks, correct me in the comments if I say something that's unfactual. Please call me out on it, because I love being proven wrong. That's the best way to learn. I don't believe that the Weeping Angels even appeared in a Peter Capaldi story. I don't think that there were any angel stories in
No, I
Peter
don't think so
Capaldi's
either.
time as the Doctor. And then when Jodie took over, they at the first season, oh, we're going to do all new stories. We're not going to bring back any old villains. Okay, Chip. Yeah, and when that didn't work, hey, look, a Dalek.
Yeah.
And
Hey, look, Weeping Angel. We did a whole thing with the Weeping Angel.
yeah, and it just,
Right.
it wasn't the same. The
Mm-hmm.
whole point of the Angel is that they're so damn fast, and they kill you and continue to drain you after
Yeah.
they send you back in time. That's how they fed. That's what was so
Yeah.
terrible. That was, I mean, other than the fact that their stone and that visage, amazing work by the art design department. But that was one of the things that made them terrifying. Was that they
Mm-hmm.
killed you and still continued to eat you, kind of like a
Yeah.
shark. A shark will kill you,
I thought he
by
just ate, swallow
chomp,
you
chomp,
whole.
chomp, chomp. Dad, that's true. And then you're digested over
Yeah.
1,000 years, like the Sarlacc.
Mm. Yeah. Wrong genre.
Every fandom is just all one big ball. Everything can circle around to something else. And
Yeah.
that's one of the amazing things about science fiction in general, and definitely Doctor Who specifically.
Yeah.
So, in conclusion, folks, next April 23rd, remember to walk around with your tally marks. If nothing else, you get some really weird looks from the normies.
Or if you really want to mess with somebody, if your partner is asleep, while they're sleeping, pull out the Sharpie and go, eek, eek, eek. And then when you wake up, go, well, and do some of your own. And when you guys wake up, oh my God, what happened?
Yeah, that would only work if your partner is a Doctor Who fan as well. And even then, you might be sleeping on the couch for a while.
Nah, it's worth it. It's worth it. Have fun, everybody. Do it.
The
So
opinions
we got some
of
exciting
Captain
news.
Joe Dove do not necessarily reflect those of the console. Thank you.
Yeah, right. You want to get in trouble? You go ahead. I ain't doing it. There is some. There's a lot of stuff going on with Doctor Who.
A lot of news going on, yeah.
Yeah.
Hopefully the fans will continue to stick around because we do have a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
Star Trek hit us with a 1-2 punch that they gave us a present and then punched us in the face in the same day, in the same press release.
Yeah.
Hey, look, guys, Strange New Worlds is re-up for season 4. Congratulations, renewed. Thank you for season 4. Yay! But Lower Decks is canceled.
Yeah. Bastards. Unbelievable.
That I understand. Tawny is writing for Starfleet Academy. I know they're all very busy. Jack Quaid especially, but I don't think that I'm wrong. I don't think I'm the only one who envisioned Lower Decks surpassing The Simpsons and surpassing
Maybe not surpassing the
South
Simpsons,
Park.
but like at least,
at least
Next
seven,
Generation.
at least 7 seasons.
Yeah, 7 or 8 seasons.
Let's do that throwback. But
Yeah,
I know there are many.
Mike McMahon's doing Golden Axe, so he's already done.
Yeah, well,
It was a big video game in the 90s.
I vaguely remember. I was never video games to me peaked at Space Invaders. I got it. I'm a few years older than you. I still remember Pong on my Atari 2600.
Wow.
So, I'm that old.
Back in my day, we had Pong and we loved it. We didn't need 64 bits. But no, the Doctor
Dragon's
Who
Lair was a
movie,
big deal back then.
yeah. We got a list of episodes, and I'm going to read them to everybody. Doctor Who Season 1 episode titles. We've got Space Babies. That's written by Russell T. Davis and directed by Julianne Robinson. Then you got The Devil's Chord, written by Russell T. Davis and directed by Ben Chessel. Boom, written by Stephen Moffat, which was interesting, directed by Julianne Robinson. 73 Yards, written by Russell T. Davies, directed by Dylan Holmes Williams. Dot and Bubble, written by Russell T. Davis, directed by Dylan Holmes Williams again. Rogue, written by Kate Herron and Byron Redmond, directed by Ben Chessel. Legend of Ruby Sunday, written by Russell T. Davies, directed by Jamie Donahue. And then Empire of Death, written by Russell T. Davies, directed by Jamie Donahue. So that is interesting.
I'm actually really surprised that they released the episode titles. I can't remember. I can't remember them ever doing that before. And I can't remember any show doing it at all. Now that I think about it, I did see something today that I may have reposted it on our TikTok, but apparently the season finale is supposed to be, quote, the biggest finale that Doctor Who has ever done. So I'm gonna speculate here. I hate when, I'm gonna guess that since we do know that the actress playing Ruby is leaving, we're not sure if she's gonna be leaving after season 1, or because she was supposed to be shooting season 2. So since we're not sure about that, could this be the culmination of her story leading possibly to her death?
Or if you really want to go on a deep dive of speculation, as we like to do here on the Console Room podcast, part of the 2BC network, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and rate us if you don't mind, if you're listening to us on iTunes, hopefully soon, or Google Play or Spotify. 5 stars if you don't mind. We'd appreciate it. But the other deep dive into this theory session would be that Ruby, who has a haunting resemblance to a Miss Rose Tyler, could be an interdimensional child of the Hand Doctor, and that's the doctor that regenerated from the hand, and Rose, that were in that other dimension.
That's an interesting theory. I have a couple of flaws with that, though.
Okay.
As you said, the Hand Doctor is completely human.
Dr.
He has no. Yeah. He has the Doctor's memories. He has the Doctor's intelligence, but he has no Time Lord abilities whatsoever.
Yeah, that's fine.
Which was why
Ruby doesn't have any Time Lord abilities.
True, but then how? But how was she able to come through the rifts?
She might not have been the one to bring herself through the rift.
That is true. We still have the mystery of Mrs. Flood.
Yep.
So we still have the mystery of Mrs. Flood, who some people have speculated that she's a former companion. I saw one story that she is another iteration of the Timeless Child, the other Doctor that appeared with Jodie Whittaker. I've seen a lot of crazy stuff, and you know what? It's always fun to guess. It's always fun to what are they going to do? What
Hmm.
does this mean?
Speculation
What
is
does this
it's
cameo mean?
a bygone pastime, man. It's always.
Bygone, it's what built the internet. Who are we kidding?
Yeah, that's true. That's very true.
I mean, come on.
We are the
They Disney released the Deadpool Wolverine new trailer,
oh
red
god.
band trailer yesterday. How many videos have you seen in just in the last 24 hours picking this thing apart?
Yeah. Oh,
You know,
that's you see that big fortress that she lives? That's the head of
mhm,
Giant Man. Yeah, they're
mhm,
going in.
mhm.
They're going in.
Well, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I may not have picked it apart the way the professionals do.
Hmm.
I also don't have that kind of equipment or time for that matter that I can sit there and watch a 5 minute trailer frame by frame.
Yeah.
I did catch a couple of the return of a couple of baddies. Um, Lady Deathstroke for one. Um,
Yep.
Azazel, Toad,
Yep.
the Ray
Yep.
Parks Toad, the good Toad.
Yeah.
Um,
That
mhm,
flipped me out. I was like, oh wait, that's Ray Park.
mhm. Yeah, well, hey, I'm glad to see he's getting work.
Yeah. Nice guy.
Um, never met him, so I can't really say. But yeah, hey, I'm always glad to see for everybody in the business, especially after after the strike. It's always great to see so many people getting work, and I'm very happy for all of them.
Yep.
Um, there's all kinds of speculations about the different Deadpools that are going to be in there, the different Wolverines. I saw
Yeah.
one that alludes to uh, the initial Wolverine's first appearance in Hulk 181 fighting the
Yeah.
Hulk.
Weapon X. Yeah.
Yeah, some people are saying that the Hulk is going to show up, and not Professor Hulk, not Smart Hulk. We're talking old school, old school
Rage
Hulk
Monster Hulk.
smash,
Yeah.
which I'd love to see. You know, Professor Hulk
Same.
was great. For he was a great plot device for what he needed to be, but I'm sorry, even in the comics, I couldn't get behind Professor Hulk. I couldn't. It's nice that Banner was able to have that little bit of peace, but the whole premise of the character when Steve Ditko and Stan Lee made this character, it was flagrantly ripped off of Jekyll and Hyde.
Yep.
It is supposed to show the dichotomy of man, the brains versus the brawn. When you put the two together, it does not work, and I can prove that to you with 4 words: League of Extraordinary Gentlemen.
There it is. There it is. Well,
The
so
movie,
there's a
not the
lot.
comic.
Oh yeah, of course. There is so much going on. It's going to be so good to talk Doctor Who. We've only got a couple of weeks. It's coming out in May.
Yeah, coming out
Yeah.
in May.
So put on your Whovian hat.
We're definitely
I got my fez right
yes.
there. There it is. So
We should plug a couple of things for friends of the show, not the least of which is our good friends up at the Pandorica in
oh
in
yeah, they're
Beacon,
gonna
New
have a
York.
special guest.
They are going to have a very special guest.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I can't make it up there that weekend.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if you're making any plans, but the wonderful Jane Asterbrook, who
Hmm.
was the first kiss for the Doctor, the Doctor's
Yeah.
first kiss.
There you go. You always remember your
She
first.
will be. Yep. Oh, you never forget your first, whether you want to or
Yeah.
not. She will be appearing at the Pandorica. Folks, if you've never heard of the Pandorica, we've talked about it on the show. It is an amazing Doctor Who themed restaurant. in upstate New York. It's only about an hour north of the city. If you're in the New York area and you're a Who fan, you must make the pilgrimage up to Beacon, New York, and go to the Pandorica. Have the fish fingers and custard. Trust me. And what
Right.
better time to do it than when Jane Astabrook is there talking Doctor Who?
Yeah.
But if you can't make it up there, Jane will also be in the neighborhood a couple of weeks from now at Trek Long Island.
And I will be there as well with the Captain's
Yes.
Squadron. We're going to be doing a live agony booth. It's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah. Yeah. There may be some
the chief may have to crash that party.
Oh yeah, come crash that party. There's going to be a live agony booth. It's going to be the first time that Jason, and Joe meet in person. I've actually hung out and met you in person before them.
I know, right?
Yeah, it's wild. So this is going to be a monumentous moment. All going to happen.
Are you keeping the episode that you're going to be reviewing? You keeping that under wraps? Is that going to be a surprise?
Until we're going to have the actress who was in the episode joining us on stage talking about that episode.
There's a hint, folks.
Yeah, this is going to be a lot of fun. That's all I can give you right now. I was told that not to release anything from the powers that be at Trek Long Island. So Matt,
but folks, you heard that here.
We're fulfilling it.
No. Keep that NDA. But folks, you heard that. You heard that hint here on the console room.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, and then
speaking of the other island, we're going back in August for Doctor Who Long Island.
Yes, we're going to be hanging out with our buddy Ken, and we're going to meet Colin Baker.
Colin Baker and the still breathtaking Nicola Bryant, who even after all these years, I cannot get used to her speaking in her native English accent. I cannot get used to it.
Yeah. So it is going to be. It's going to be
a fun summer. It is going to be a nerd-tastic summer, folks. If you're on the East Coast, if you like to travel, come to New York. Check out Trek Long Island. Check out Doctor Who Long Island. We got these two great conventions going on just an hour away from the city that never sleeps. You ever been to New York? No? What better opportunity? And by the way, the city of New York, I am open for sponsorships. I live here. You might as well at least give me a break on my taxes, for Christ's sakes.
Yeah, that's a rough one. All right, and then we're going to talk about our other friends, the Scarif podcast. Be sure to check out that Scuttlebutt. There's going to be pure, unadulterated nerd talk on the Red 5 Network. Visit our friend VHS Jason, his buddy Rick, as they rock those fabulous threads, and then they're talking about movie and streaming news. Be sure to visit our friends, the Sci-Fi Queens, every other Friday every other Friday on the Sci-Fi Queens channel. Of course, we wouldn't be remiss without talking about wrestling, and that's AJ Orsini's Uncensored Mind. A lot going on there. And of course, you check out our other shows like The Fourth Doctor, which is probably why you checked us out to this one, because you saw that episode. So we appreciate that. It'll be good to see you there. And of course, the Captain's Quadrant. We are talking about Star Trek and its many iterations in the Agony booth and in the Ecstasy booth, but it's the Captain's Quadrant through and through. So much fun to be had talking about some of the best and the worst episodes of Star Trek. And we are currently diving into the fray of Star Trek Discovery. So until next time, be nice, regenerate, and exterminate!